What's up? What's up? What's up? Fins family, Fins Up Nation. It is your peoples. Danny and Jules here today. Another episode of Outside the Pod in the off season. Everybody else is still playing, except for Miami, it seems. And yeah, we're in the dumpsters, right? But hey, at least some excitement's happening. Some coach prospects are showing up to the building, but we lost a few. Rest in peace to. I mean, I guess I shouldn't say rest in peace. It's a little morbid. But John Harbaugh's out, going to the New York Giants. Why he chose the Giants, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what that GM is telling him. Maybe he likes New York. Maybe he likes Dart. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't have too much on that. I don't think anybody does. But hey, he chose New York. And Mike Tomlin is stepping down and probably taking a chill pill for a while. Maybe doing some TV. We'll probably see him on Fox or something, doing some broadcasting. Or probably just going on a nice long vacation. We'll probably see him again. But for now, missed out on the top two candidates, I would think, for this season or for this offseason as head coaches. I think Jules thinks that maybe McDermott's still in play if they fail to move on in the playoffs. But I think winning at least one game out of the playoffs, I think keeps them around. What do you think? You don't think that? Did that change your mind?
It changed my mind last week when they won. I think if they would have lost in the first round, I think that they would have been more urgency to maybe move on, but not that it would have happened. But I think that it would have been a possibility. But I don't think so at this point.
Anyway, the Dolphins are in the middle of having a lot of virtual interviews. I believe is what mostly what happened this past week. Some virtual interviews and then some requests to interview some people that have not been interviewed yet. But I think as of right now, the one that's closest or that has been through the process a little bit longer is going to be Hafley, right? Jeff Hafley from the Packers, which a lot of people are saying that might be the front runner right now, being that he's a Packers guy. And of course, our new GM is a Packers guy, longtime Packers guy. So it might be even one of his people, right? He's probably has a good relationship with and stuff like that. So a lot of people are saying, a lot of places are saying that Jeff may be the front runner. My thing is that he's getting a lot of other calls as well. I mean, basically every team that has an open head coaching position is calling Jeff Hafley as well. So a lot of people are like, you look at next and everybody's like, hey, it's going to be Jeff Hafley. Okay, slow your roll, bro. He still has to choose us. The interview is not only for the head coach. It's not only for the candidate. The interview's also for the Miami Dolphins to also gain that respect from that candidate because they have to choose at the end of the day. You could offer him all you want. If he doesn't want to coach for the Dolphins, guess what? He's going to Pittsburgh. He's going to Arizona. He's going to Atlanta. He's going to Las Vegas. He's going to Tennessee. So it ain't endgame, bro, just because you think that that's the guy that the Miami Dolphins want and that he's coming to interview. Slow your roll. Slow your roll because we don't know. And I mean, and that's the thing from seasons before, off seasons before. The Dolphins seem to end up towards the bottom of the pack a lot of the times in their coaching searches. And they end up with like those bottom five guys, right? Because I don't know. Maybe it's different with Sullivan. Sorry, I got a nose hair. There you go. I pulled it out. Right on the episode. Saw it here first. I think it's my lucky nose hair. So I should make a prediction. Hopefully a good one. I don't know who's the best one. And that's the thing. You tell me if you got an opinion. I could tell you based on some of the experiences of some of the guys that have been head coaches before. And and if they showed me anything that we should be excited about. But for the most part, you never know. You never know if they're going to be good head coaches. Are they going to be able to manage the whole system, or the whole organization, or the whole team and produce a winning culture? I don't know that. But anything you want to say before I start going down this list and kind of talking about these guys?
Yeah, I think you were going right, down that right path where I think that the Dolphins situation, it does seem like we're going to be in that bottom of the pack, right? Unfortunately, because
well, they got a good on the picks, the draft picks though.
Yeah,
are
but
not
for
too
some reason, and I get it. Like maybe some guys are going to be like challenged, right? But the problem is that coaches now they seem to be having, with some exceptions, right? Like Pittsburgh, for example, they hire a coach for 30 years, and that's just what they do. But in other cases, it seems like coaches have a short leash. And do you want to come into a situation where you're already on the negative side of your coaching rating just because of the situation you're in? So do you want to put yourself in that situation?
Only the ones that are at the bottom of the pack would. That's what I'm saying. Well, because they have to take that chance to try to move forward, like the Kelvin Shepherd.
Well, yeah, no, I totally agree with you. We're gonna be stuck with someone that, hey, they're not the top 5, top 8 candidates for coaching for all these coaching positions, and because those coaching candidates can go to a bit better situation where at least there's a quarterback, or at least there's an established defense, or an established run game,
or an established GM,
exactly, or a established front office, right? So yeah, those guys are gonna take those. They're gonna pick those teams. Us, we're gonna be stuck with the guys that they're looking to move up. They're just not that top tier coach that everyone thinks is a top tier coach yet. So yeah, we're basically going down and getting someone in the vicinity of Mike McDaniel when we were in that coaching circle. But now,
and I think, at the end of the day, I feel like he turned out better than he should have. Right? Like, if he was at the bottom of the barrel, it wasn't too bad at the end of the day. And now you start thinking, like I said before, maybe the last episode is, did we really need to fire him at this point? You know what I mean? You should have brought the new GM, get him established first, and his name known. Like, oh, you know what? Miami's starting to get a good roster together.
There was a definite hesitation, right? There was, because I thought he had saved his job for at least another year. Try him out with a different quarterback. He's been stuck with the same one, right? Try him out with a different quarterback for at least one more year, and then see what happens. And so I thought he had already, because you're going to be in the same situation. We're going to get one of these unknown, or not unknown, but not well known, not top tier coaching candidate again.
Right.
But this time, let's switch it up and go defensive coordinator now instead of that's how it feels like.
Yeah, a perfect segue that I've noticed is for the candidates right now is that the defensive coordinator is like heavy. It's heavy defensive coordinator. So you're right? They're like, you know what? Let's try to find a decent coordinator. The obvious ones like Clint Kubiak and freaking Joe Brady and Stefanski, which are the offensive coordinators, well, that's because they're up there as far as candidates go, I think, right? Yeah. At least middle pack. Stefanski is probably one of the top 3 out of these candidates, I would say. But Joe Brady's made a pretty good name, although it is with Josh Allen. I mean, how much do you really need to do with a quarterback like Josh Allen as an offensive coordinator? I don't know, but even though they do have Josh Allen, I do watch the Bills, and they do have some pretty good-looking plays. So I know that it's not just Josh Allen doing it. I know that Joe Brady has some ability. He is a local boy. He is from South Florida. So that could bend his little, it could sway us or sway him to Miami. Same thing with Jeff Hafley. It could sway him to Miami because maybe he does. I don't know if he does for sure. Maybe he has a relationship with Sullivan. So maybe that sways him, right? I know this guy. I know that I could work with him and get the best out of our rosters or get, the guys that we want together. But, I know that a lot of fans, and let's go. We talked about the offensive coordinators. Then we got Chris Shula. who I still think is at the bottom of the pack, but we all have a soft place in our heart. I think I think his best chance would be in Miami just because of his grandfather. And everybody just wanted, everybody's nostalgia, especially at least if they're old enough, like we are, to kind of just be like, man, it'd be cool to have a Shula and get him the old school jacket, you know what I mean? With a big sunglasses and put him out there. Make him look at his grandfather. But Robert Saleh, which we know is his defense is done great, of course. His Jets defense was good. San Francisco is good, especially with all the injuries. Granted, right? Like, I understand that. Like, his defense is good at San Francisco. I was impressed this last game that I watched without freaking Fred Warner. There was a couple other injuries that I can't remember, but I know he had a bunch. He had third string linebackers. What's up?
I think Bosa was missing too.
Yeah, Bosa was missing. Yeah. So he still was able to produce a very good game from his defense. However, just like Mike McDaniel, I feel like he's a defensive coordinator. He didn't do much else for the Jets. So I don't have too much faith for him. I know a lot of people like him. He looks like he could still play. I think that's, a lot of people see that and they're like, oh, I want a coach that runs down the sideline. I don't care about that. Like, that's not really motivating. That's cheerleading, bro. I don't care for that. I don't care for that. I mean, it's nice, but I don't care. Get the best out of your players.
Yeah.
We got Jeff Hafley, who's defensive coordinator, Green Bay Packers. I don't really remember how the Packers defense really fared this year. I don't remember. I should have looked that up. But anyway, Patrick Graham from Las Vegas. I mean, he's got experience. That's about all I can remember from him. Jeff Minter from the Chargers, also defensive coordinator. And then, I think those guys are bottom of the barrel, right? To include Kelvin Shepard. And so I feel like we're looking at one of those guys. I feel like we're the best we're gonna get. Oh, I forgot Anthony Campanile, which was on Miami. Was with Miami before as linebackers coach.
Yeah.
And his defense is badass.
Yeah.
Number
good.
one, I think, in Jacksonville. One of top three
in some categories for sure.
Yeah. So that might be an option, but it's gonna be. I feel like one of these guys: Campanile, Shula, Minter, or Shepard. Maybe Brady. That's terrible. I think so. We should have kept Mike McDaniel, bro. What do you think?
Man. Well, yeah. I thought I was pretty clear on keeping McDaniel at least for another year, because you're basically going into the same kind of situation. The problem is, you really don't know, right? You can catch lightning in a bottle maybe, and something sticks, right? Something hits. You just don't know. Jeff Hafley just seems like a biased pick to me. I'm not sure. I don't know
like that.
Enough.
Yeah, I don't like that part about it. That it might be a biased choice.
Yeah, and somebody, and it always seems that way, right? We have some ties to the guy, and that's why we hired him. But again, nothing pointing to we went with the best guy that was available. It never works out that way for us, it seems, and that sucks. On Saleh, I think I disagree with you a little bit. I think on a second chance, we've all seen coaches have their first chance and they F it up royally, right? And there's a number of examples.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry to interrupt, but real quick, the experience there is valuable. Even if you went and you freaking flopped, that he still gained a lot of. That's why I'm saying that I think that Mike McDaniel is gonna go somewhere else and freaking be a legit head coach, because everything that he learned from us, he's gonna make sure it doesn't happen again. Because it's hard to change how you started in Miami.
Yeah,
as a leader. But now he understands, okay, I did this and it didn't work. I'm going to make sure I don't bring that up again. So go ahead. Sorry.
No, that's exactly what I was saying. Like, we've seen some coaches get a second chance and do pretty well. Pete Carroll, Belichick, a number of guys. And so I could see that. I'm just wondering about us going into the defensive coordinator more so than the offensive coordinator. I haven't heard really much as to why we're looking that way more so than the offensive. mean, we still have Weaver in the building, right? I thought last time I checked.
I
He
haven't
hasn't
heard
gone
anything.
anywhere. Yeah.
Not only
So
that, but I haven't heard of him getting interviews, bro. That's crazy too. Not yet, at least.
I've heard there's interest, but yeah, I haven't heard of interviews for sure.
And why are the Dolphins not interviewing? I guess I don't know. Maybe they plan on keeping him as the defensive coordinator. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. Don't I wish I was a fly in the wall throughout this whole process, right? I mean, it's just so fascinating, but at the same time, so worrying, right? Because you know, this is such an important decision. We can't just F it up again, man. It doesn't look good though, but we can't F it up, man. We gotta come on, Sully. Just figure it out.
Yeah.
You know, we got all our marbles on this, man. We on this decision. Sullivan.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that he is a guy that can see, that has some good vision as to choosing someone that's gonna lead these guys.
Yeah.
And I hope so, man. I hope so. He definitely, I think the best GM candidate I thought at this point that was available, right? For the Miami Dolphins. I thought that was a great move. I would think, with all the experts and then the knowledge and experience of Troy Aikman and things like that I thought, you know, helped that decision, helped that make it happen. But man, this decision right here is probably going to mark Sullivan for the rest of his career, right? I mean, this is going to be that one point that whether he goes and becomes one of the best GMs in the league or one of the worst.
It's very important for him. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens, man.
My fear is that just a combination of, like I said before, like I kind of alluded to earlier, is that there's a GM transition and a head coach transition. And like we talked about, the situation of where it's a brand new GM, you don't know if he's any good. So you start to think as a candidate, like, okay, well, I got Pittsburgh as an option, right? I got Tennessee as an option. And it starts to just look like, man, the top two, maybe, if Baltimore as an option.
Yeah.
You know, we're looking at the top three right there. We're not. So out of the teams, let's talk about this real quick. Out of the teams that needed a head coach, and I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but it's Arizona, Atlanta, Las Vegas, Tennessee, Pittsburgh, and Baltimore.
Cleveland.
And Cleveland, 8, and in Miami. What number are we? If you were a candidate and you had your choice of all those 9 teams, which one are you choosing? Right? I mean, it's a hard question for us. We don't know exactly what goes on inside the building, but just from as a fan standpoint, looking at it.
Let's look at the situations. Play coaching candidate right now. And pretend you're one of these finalists.
Okay.
And you got interest from these teams.
From every team, they all of them sent you a letter saying, "Hey, we are happy to announce that we want to give you we want to offer you the head coaching job."
Right.
And right now, if you told me that, I would be like, Baltimore,
because of
Lamar Jackson, established defense, kind of.
Some good players for sure.
The GM is still the same, you know.
Yeah. I think that most of these candidates are probably going looking at that job, and probably Pittsburgh, even the Giants, right? Because of location and, you know.
I don't know why you would want to do that. I would not like to live in freaking New York, but that's me.
Some people do, man.
Yeah, I know some people do.
And you got Dart, you got some players right there, right? You already got a quarterback, running back, wide receiver who are probably stars in this league already. Now you just got to come in and the defense has a couple of good ones too. You got, and you're in New York. I think the front office is okay. It's a good situation, I would say, for a coach. Maybe not. It depends on your preference as far as location, for sure. If you want to be out in the cold, if you want to be in sunny Florida, you know, I don't know. But I would think that's an attractive situation. You know, Las Vegas may not have a quarterback, but they will probably with the pick where they're going to be picking, right?
They probably get a Mendoza, right?
And for an incoming head coach, you probably like that situation.
Mm.
You're gonna have your pick, man.
So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and then if you go to what else? What do we got?
Tennessee.
Tennessee, you got Cam Ward there. Other good players there as well. That's you're already on the plus side compared to Miami.
Yeah. They're climbing, right? They're climbing from their rebuild.
Exactly.
Right.
Cleveland,
and we're not even bottom yet. We haven't bottomed out yet.
Cleveland might even be higher on some of these guys' lists because you got Shador and you got Myles Garrett.
Yeah, you got Myles Garrett. That's really all you need. And then the cap too.
Yeah. There's so many things, man,
bro. And that's what I'm saying. Not to get too long on the list and on the episode. What I'm saying is that we're down on the list of which team the candidates will choose. And that's why everybody thinks like I said before, right? Like, oh yeah, Hafley is gonna come to a slow your roll, fucker. We probably should have kept Mike McDaniel at this point.
Well, yeah. Well, that bridge burnt. That ship has sailed.
Yeah, the ship has sailed.
There's stuff on X right now that we're interviewing Hafley in person next week. So
right, yeah. So that's what I'm saying. He's the furthest down the pipe right now. But that, like I said, it doesn't mean shit.
No,
it doesn't mean shit. He's still gonna interview with other teams or whatever. You know what I mean? So we'll find out, dude. I mean, if it is him, like, what do we know about him? He could be shit. What I'm saying is that at least Mike McDaniel had some experience. He was probably on his way to trending as far as his team management goes. We already know he could dial up the offense pretty well. But I think he was starting to understand the dynamics of actually coaching and leading men, grown ass men, to get them to do their job at their best of their ability. Mm-hmm. I think he was trending to getting that down, and I think he's gonna have it soon. And I hope that he gets a head coaching job. I've seen some people are asking for him, but they're also asking for him as an offensive coordinator. So I would like to see him as a head coach again, just to know what we missed out on sooner rather than later. But
he better suck.
Yeah, he better suck. Yeah. It's just like Shador, and we still don't know.
What's sad though, I don't think he will.
No,
I think he will do well, man.
Yeah.
And this is gonna really irk me, man. That he goes elsewhere.
He better not start winning playoff after playoff, bro.
Bro, because I think you hit on a good point, and that's I think what we were seeing right towards the end of the season. The guys were still playing hard, man.
Yeah, except the last game, but yeah.
Well, but the last game, they did play hard that first quarter. I think the first quarter, once they saw, there's no use, we're not going to make this happen. We didn't have the elements to beat them, anyways.
A couple of people got banged up too, and it kind of probably snowballed.
Wasn't playing, Waddle wasn't playing.
Right.
It was already they were zeroing in on us, so you could tell the Patriots had smelled blood in the water, man. They were coming at us. And
the Patriots are playing good football, man. That's
and that's the other thing. That is really annoying. We talked about this at the beginning of the year, right? That's what's gonna we predicted this shit.
Yeah, you heard it here.
You heard it here first. Man, what was it? What my point was, McDaniel's probably gonna go and do good things, and man, it's gonna really irk me. I had another point that I forgot, but go ahead, man.
Yeah, no worries.
Take us home.
Well, yeah, we're getting towards the end here, and I kind of just real quick wanted to know not only your prediction or like your best prediction. I wouldn't say prediction because your best guess of who's gonna be the head coach. Yeah, I mean, just personally,
candidates.
Yeah, I mean, or anybody. If it's not on the list, sure. I mean, I'll take any name. It could be Jules. I mean,
I don't know, man. Unfortunately, I wish I knew more. I'm not going to pretend I know these guys.
Right.
I think the Stefanski. By the way, he's probably going to go to one of these other top tier
right
situations, not top tier teams, but situations, right?
Better situation,
yeah. But I think Stefanski, there's a lot to say about two defensive.
No, I'm not saying who's best. I'm saying who do you predict is probably going to get hired.
I think Stefanski though. That's what
Yeah?
I'm trying to
Oh,
get
okay.
at. Yeah, because if he makes the Browns go to the playoffs, I mean that's pretty huge for me. That's a pretty good indication, when they had all these years of just terrible
Yeah.
performances, and then Stefanski comes in. There's a couple of things there that kind of rub the wrong way, how he's handled certain situations, and I think maybe it's because he didn't see a quarterback in any of the options that he had this year. I don't think he believed in Shador. I don't think he, so those kinds of were detrimental to him keeping his job there and everything like that. But I think there's something there.
Mm.
And the other one that's intriguing to me is Saleh. I just don't know enough about the rest of these guys that can make me feel like they're going to be better than these other two.
I'm right there with you. I mean, any of these guys could impress, right? We don't know them enough. Any of them could move up to head coaching and then all of a sudden flourish as great leaders of men and can manage the teams. So, I think Stefanski is a good guess, and I would probably second that with Robert Saleh. Not because they're my best choices for me personally. Like I said, I don't know. I don't know if it was because if he was in the Jets or what, but Robert Saleh just doesn't sit well with me. I don't know. There's something about him, but who knows?
I think it is that. It is that, right? That he was associated with the Jets, and we don't necessarily like the Jets, and so that there is some bias there.
Yeah,
I would say.
All right.
But
yeah, I think so. We'll coin that. We'll say, hey, outside the pod thinks either our best guess is either Stefanski or Saleh are gonna be the next Miami Dolphins coach. See if we're right. We'll see, man. It's coming up. But anyway, that's time for us. Appreciate everybody coming out, listening to us. Bull crap about our best. I wouldn't say our best team. Our favorite team. And like and subscribe, please. Leave us a comment. Get in the conversation. Tell us who you think is our best option / who do you actually think that the Miami Dolphins are gonna go for as a head coaching position, freaking our next head coach. But I think Chris Shula still has a little bit of a soft spot in my heart. Just like I said, who knows, man? Who knows? I mean, if he's got a fraction of his grandfather, I think it'll be all right. I think it'll be a good choice. But anyway, catch our eyes next week after a few more playoff games go out, and hopefully we have a little bit better understanding of where Miami might be going. Right now, it looks like defensive coordinator heavy for the candidates. But all right, I'll see you guys next week, or we'll see you guys next week. Fins up.
Fins up.